Hey guys, what's happening? It has been about 2 weeks since my last video. Sorry about that. For those of you who actually enjoy watching what I pick up, I do apologize, but it's been really busy with work. But this is going to be one massive video. Had some yard sale finds, garage sale, rummage sale, whatever you want to call them. Some Craigslist pickups, some eBay pickups, some thrift store pickups. So I've been on a roll lately. And first up, I can't take credit for this sale because my buddy Aaron actually found it. And anyway, he called me up and said, "Do you want it?" He gave me a really good deal on it. First up, there are three controllers and all the necessary hookups for it, but I'm just going to show it. Kind of dusty, needs to be cleaned up. First up is a Genesis 2. It came with a bag full of games. I paid $30 for it, and actually, when you see what I got here, it's actually a pretty good deal for 30 bucks. These are cart only. This is Miss Pac-Man, Sonic 2, TNN Outdoors Bass Tournament 96, another, The Lion King, actually a really good game, Sonic Spinball, Championship Pool, and then the best of the loose carts, without a doubt, is Toe Jam and Earl Panic on Funkatron. Relatively, don't want to say super rare, but relatively tough to come by. Then all of these are boxed and complete. And first up, LaRussa Baseball. The key thing about this is it has the book, and then from Stats Inc. there was a bunch of stats cards. You can see it right there. There's a bunch of stats cards for all Major League Baseball teams. So, LaRussa Complete, Animaniacs. This one kind of makes me laugh. Sega Club, The Berenstein Bears, Camping Adventure. I think every kid in America has read some of these books. Jurassic Park, kind of appropriate, as I see that Jurassic World set the all-time single-day opening record. PGA Tour Golf 3. Mortal Kombat, and then the gem of the boxed complete ones is Dash and Desperados, without a doubt. This one's relatively hard to find, pretty solid sale price on it. So my buddy Aaron, I thank you for the deal that you cut me. He said he made money off of it at selling it to me for 30 bucks, and I was more than happy to pay 30 bucks for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 games, Genesis, and all the necessary hookups. So yeah, glad to get that. Set these out of the way here, as there's a lot of stuff to get through. I'm gonna skip over to some yard sale stuff, and these were $1 a piece. Cyberdeck for the PS1, kind of a futuristic skating game from Psygnosis, as I've said before, one of my favorite developers. Spyro Year of the Dragon, these are both disc only. Then, for $1 a piece, these were kind of a steal. Road Rash 3D, Spyro Ripto's Rage, and the big one for $1. This is a really good find for $1, as I've said before. I have it already. This one's in great shape. I'll put it in a new case because the case is a little worse for the wear. But for $1, Marvel Superheroes from Capcom. Really good fighting game. One of my favorites. Get these out of the way. Some more yard sale stuff. Went to one yard sale. They had a ton of kids' DS games, and then one single solitary Xbox game, and it is in considerably better shape than the one that I have, so I'm going to keep it because this was $2. This is Dead to Rights, actually really fantastic game. More action heavy and probably not as complicated as, say, Max Payne. A couple of more pickups. These were $1 a piece. Hour of Victory on the 360 exclusive. Also, John Woo's Stranglehold for the Xbox 360. Then, I think at this rummage sale they were asking $5 a piece for these games. I actually asked them if they would take 10 for all three, and they said yep. So I'm glad to get them. I have this on the Xbox, but I now have it on the PS2 as well. This is Defender, an actually really good 3D space shooter. I have this on the Xbox, I now have it on the PS2. Gun, and last but not least, I do not have this, but I'm told it's actually a lot of fun, so I'm actually excited to play it. That is Disney's The Haunted Mansion. So yeah, those were all, you know, hardly spent anything on those. Then, let's see. Over to, let's do the eBay stuff first. The eBay stuff, where did I put that? There we go. eBay stuff. An Xbox exclusive to cross off the list. Combat Task Force 121. See, it got middling reviews, but it's complete and in immaculate shape. It was $3 after shipping. Finally got one of my all-time favorites, and that is The Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction. A fantastic game. Sierra really knocked it out of the park with this one. I'm going to complain about this as an eBay pickup. The person went through the automated shipping process, and so I got charged the automated shipping price for first-class shipping. Did not receive it first-class shipping. The auction closed on May 23rd. I did not receive the game until June 6th. And that's key, because when I did receive the game, I didn't actually get the game. I got a card from the got a card from the postal service saying I still owed them $1.98 for shipping, which is ridiculous. So I got out there. They used all old stamps to send it, and they said, you have the right to reject it. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave these people neutral feedback. And I did, and of course they didn't respond. At this point, I've had so many shady sellers that I've dealt with that I don't give them a chance anymore. I don't even try to let them tell their side of the story. It was just a simple scam for them to make a couple extra bucks off of shipping, which, great, cool. That just proves to me that you wouldn't go not even the extra mile. Just do the basic diligence of sending it out properly. Up next, another Xbox exclusive. Did not come with a manual, but that is Gun Griffin Allied Strike. Fantastic mech fighting game. Still, I popped it in because I hadn't played it in a long time. Still has really crisp look to it for a game that's what is this? I believe this is 11 or 12 years old at this point. Really crisp game. Another Xbox exclusive. One of my favorite fighting series that doesn't really get enough credit. This is Samurai Showdown 5. Amazing fighting game. Visuals still look good. I believe it's all hand drawn. Really good fighting game. SNK Playmore really, I can't think of a bad fighting game they put out. Here is the big one. I picked this up off of eBay for $16. It goes for considerably higher. Within hours of this auction completing, I saw 3 more go in the upper 30s for this set. It's actually really tough to find because it came out well into the 360's life cycle. This is the outer case is a little worse for the wear. The gentleman did warn me about that, saying it had been in storage. He completely forgot that he had it, so it's got a lot of shelf wear. It was actually still in the plastic wrap, but through the course of him moving and putting it into storage, and he said he totally understood if I didn't want to complete the transaction because he didn't have a picture of the case. And when he sent me a picture of the case, I said I was fine with it. This is Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy. Not the double pack. The double pack is relatively easy to find. The trilogy is not. But this is complete with all the manuals, maps, and all that stuff. It is in terrific shape. This, Vice City being my favorite of the Grand Theft Auto series. Glad to get it. Going to pop them in and rip them to that hard drive that I have set up on the Xbox, the one that I call the Monster. And then I'm going to put this in a collector's case because this one is getting really tough to find. I might at some point see if I can track down the outer sleeve because, like I said, this one's a little worse for the wear. But the discs, manuals, maps, the maps haven't even been opened up, so that everything else is in mint condition. Just the outer casing is a little worse for the wear and got some creases and wrinkles in it. I am not really particular about packaging as so much as I am particular about finding manuals and the proper artwork. The outer packaging, it goes on the shelf. It's going to get taken off the shelf. That kind of wear is going to happen. All right. So then we'll do the Craigslist pickup. This was actually a pretty big steal. Contacted the gentleman. He posted it on Craigslist. I had to drive to Thief River Falls, Minnesota, which is about 45 miles from me. The trip was well worth it. He knocked $20 off the price because I had to drive up there, because I agreed to drive up there to get it since he didn't have to deliver it. So he was initially asking $120, and even at $120, this is a pretty good deal. I got myself a PS Vita. It is the slim version, so it's not the bold, bright screen of the launch PSP. I have it in one of these PDP. It's got a trigger stick case, kind of makes it feel like a larger dual shock controller in your hand. Came with the 8 gig card. It's complete in box. All the paperwork was there, and then he even included the receipt in case I had to get any warranty work or stuff done on it, because it's still under warranty. He bought it on the 24th of February, and here we are. I got it last Thursday, so here we are, not even 4 months out, and he wanted to get rid of it. He said it just wasn't for him. On top of paying $100 for it, it also came with a copy of. It still has the price tags from the place he bought it from on it, but it came with a copy of Uncharted Golden Abyss. It's just in a dummy case, so I don't really need to show you the artwork. And then one game I could really care less about. That's Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation, and I bought myself Tales of Hearts R for this, since it's compatible with my PSTV. Alright. Rolling right along. Let's go with the let's see, where is this stuff? Alright. We will go with the thrift store pickups. The thrift store pickups were pretty solid. First up, this one's kind of tough to find. This is History Channel Civil War: Nation Divided. I actually love this game. I know it's not perfect by any means, but I actually love this game. This was a pickup at Rock 30, so this isn't a thrift store, but I had a little bit of credit left over, so I picked it up. I know nothing about this game. I know Jess at Rock 30 said she really didn't like this one, but I'm going to give it a whirl because it's a NIS game, and I really like their games. I really like their presentation. That is The Last Rebellion. And then one of my favorite all-time action RPGs from the PS2 era, that is Summoner 2. I have Summoner: A Goddess Reborn, which I believe is sort of a remaster of Summoner 2. Went over to First National Pawn, and they had a bunch of stuff I do not have. First up, it's in a clear case, and I need to track down a manual. But this is Spec Ops: The Line. They actually had this marked at $6, which it's worth considerably more than that. This was $1 for the Halo 2 multiplayer map pack. It is not necessarily anything you have to have. You obviously can't get these maps anymore because the original Xbox is offline by now. Long offline, as we well know. So yeah, if I ever had like a LAN party again, I could pop this in and we could do some 4-player on it. Really cool to get this. Then picked up an Xbox exclusive. This is actually a really fun, really weird and bizarre game. But this is Death Row Underground Team Combat. I'm actually going to do a review on this, or a gameplay video of it, because it's a really bizarre game. It's sort of hockey meets basketball meets combat. It's a really bizarre game, but it's a lot of fun. The Halo 2 map pack was $1. Spec Ops, because I got out of there with, I think I spent $21 on all 4 of these, so that was a pretty good deal. This was 6, 1, and 4. The one game that I did have to spend a little bit on, but in the grand scheme of things, I've seen this go for a lot higher. It ebbs and flows with this game, but this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the Xbox. Not an exclusive by any means, but it's certainly getting tougher to find. I would call it an uncommon game. Not rare by any means, but an uncommon game. It's complete in box and in terrific shape. This is the... I think this is the first cel-shaded one they did, and it still looks amazing to this day. Alright. Couple more thrift store finds. Two of the 3 are pretty amazing. First up, don't have this. I do have it for the PS2. I do not have it for my Xbox collection. This is Super Monkey Ball Deluxe. Nothing more needs to be said about that. This one I was kind of ecstatic to find because it was a thrift store find for $3. Sonic Mega Collection Plus with Super Monkey Ball Deluxe, the 2-in-1 combo pack. This is a relatively rare game, tough to find, so I'm glad to get it. A lot of fun for both of them, so really glad to get this in the collection. Then, last but not least, it's kind of funny. I found it must have been the same person that donated to different thrift stores, because I can't imagine 2 different people buying this game. But This is the PS2 version of Civil War Nation Divided, so I have it for the 360 now and the PS2. One of the churches in town had a youth group rummage sale, and there really wasn't much there. There was a lot of garbage there, to be honest, but there was one thing of note. I picked up Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights. This was 50 cents. Fantastic, gorgeous-looking game, and if I remember correctly, most of the original voice cast is still there. Not a particularly great game. They were obviously... it's weird, because the people who would have been in the market for this game by the time this came out would have been in their early to mid-20s, maybe even late 20s, but they clearly tried to make it a kid's game. But this is from the original Scooby-Doo run, from like the 69 to like 74, 76, something like that, whatever it was. This is from the original Scooby-Doo run, so the target audience was people my age, but they were trying to... I should say the target audience was kids, but the people that would have been most interested in it would have been my age. And obviously they're not going to do a Grand Theft Auto-y type Scooby-Doo game, but yeah, I think they missed their audience with that. All right, now on to the big rummage sale finds. Went to a bunch, struck out at a lot of places, and then I found some decent stuff at places. Star Wars Plug and Play. This one's relatively uncommon, kind of tough to find. It's got a bunch of top-down shooters in it, which you know is my jam. This one, I could not find anything about online whatsoever, but this is the Sega Genesis Plug and Play from Radica, and it comes with 2 pre-wired 6-button Street Fighter II controllers. Now, I don't know what all versions of Street Fighter II are on there, but I do know it comes with Ghouls and Ghosts as well, so that makes it worth it for me. I've got to get my classic gaming area set up so I can get some of these plug-and-plays rocking and rolling. I'm just going to wrap up this stuff to get it out of the way. And then, on to the Grand Forks All-City Rummage Sale happened this weekend, and I made a massive haul there. This first lot from the All-City Rummage Sale I picked up for $22. Sonic Heroes for the GameCube. This game isn't really that great, but I picked it up anyway. Raven Squad. Grid, definitely getting tougher to find. This one isn't necessarily tough to find, but it's retained its value fairly well. That is Star Wars The Clone Wars Republic Heroes. And then last but not least, this was the big steal in the lot for $22, and that is Wii Sports Resort. I paid $5 for it. I only had 22. It should have come to 23 total for all of these, but I only had $22 and a 50 on me, and the guy said I'll take $22. So that gentleman was really nice about that. Some people would say no, I'll give you the other. I want the other buck. Then some more stuff at the All City Rummage Sale. Let's see, got a bunch of it down here. All right. There wasn't really much in the way of vintage games out there. There were a couple of interesting things. Walked up to this guy, and he said, he opened it up and said, "Would you like to see what's inside?" And I said, "Since you're holding video games." And I said, "Yeah, sure." So I took a look at it, and of course it's not going to open. There we go. Not going to open for me now. At first glance, it looks like just a shitty old artillery case or of some sort, maybe a battery case, I don't know. But he opens it up, and he says, $5 for all of them. And that's what was in there. All these games. It came with Defender, Kangaroo, Missile Command, Miss Pac-Man, as I drop it, upside down, Pole Position, Pitfall, Stampede. This one I'd never heard of. I remember the box art, but I could not remember it for the life of me. Street Racer. I don't know what this one is either. Target Shooter. Video Checkers, I remember this. And Video Olympics. So for $5, that was a pretty reasonable find. For a bunch of 2,600 games that I do not have. I think I might have Defender, but I know I don't have the rest. So pretty reasonable find for $5. Then went over. There was, I mean, it was a massive all-city rummage sale in the Alaris Center. Which, if you're not from here, it's a massive events convention center. Our University of North Dakota football plays there, so it's just a huge arena is basically all it is. All right. This next pile, let's see, what did I grab from those guys? There we go. This next pile, I went to the guy had a bunch of PS3 stuff, and they said if you bought the game, you could have the strategy guide with it. The problem was I already had the game, so I just went and grabbed the strategy guide. So he gave me all this stuff. He gave me all this stuff for $20. That is Need for Speed: The Run. Actually getting tougher to find. Dead Rising 2 Off the Record for the PS3. And definitely one that is really uncommon, especially around here. This is the original Farming Simulator. And then the Red Dead Redemption Strategy Guide. All that for 20 bucks. Then the rest of this was individual sellers. I didn't know anything about this game, so I didn't know if it was rare. I find out that it is kind of rare and uncommon, but not really worth that much. This was a $2 pickup. King of Clubs, mini golf. For $2, I didn't care. I like a silly golf game, and I have a feeling it's going to be a silly golf game. Then for $5, which it really isn't worth much more than that, but it's interesting. It's in a PS2 case, so I'll have to fix that. But Marvel Ultimate Alliance and Forza 2, not really tough or hard to find games. There's been one time where I found the gold edition of this in this, and I sold it off right away, which was stupid because I ended up buying it again. Then another $2. I know this isn't a great game, and it's the infamous one where you can get all the achievements in like 10 minutes on the Xbox 360, but this is the Wii version. This is Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Burning Earth. This was $1. This is one of my favorite games, Destruction Derby Arenas. Absolutely love Destruction Derby. These were $2 a piece for the PS2. This first one isn't nearly as rare on the PS2 as it is on the Xbox 360, but this is IRHA Drag Racing, the Sportsman Edition. It's actually for $2. I'm going to see how much I like it and see if it's worth the invest. I'll get it for the original Xbox, but I'm going to see if it's actually worth it. This might also be a game my dad would play because it's got drag racing in it. Then for another $2, Ape Escape 2. This one I paid a little bit more for, but I don't have it, so I was willing to. Plus, they threw in a game for free, and the game that they threw in for free, I'm totally glad to get. It's not necessarily expensive what they threw in for free, but this was $15, Soul Calibur 4, but then he threw in this, which is actually pretty amazing that he threw this in, and this is the original. This is Pokemon, the trading card game. So yeah, pretty massive haul this week. Oh wait, I've got one more thing. I take that back. I'm not done yet. Oh, one more massive box of pickups. A friend of mine was looking to get rid of all of his PS2 stuff. He sold this off to me for $30, and there's a lot of stuff in here. And there's a couple of Wii games in here too. All right, this is all PS2 stuff. Start off with this: Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Spider-Man: Friend or Foe, Marvel Nemesis: Rise of the Imperfects, X-Men Legends, X-Men Legends 2. He's a big comic book guy, so that theme will be pretty obvious. X-Men Next Dimension. Put some of this in a little bit of order here. All right, these three are actually pretty decent. Dragon Ball Budokai Z, or Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi, Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2, Sonic Mega Collection Plus. One of my favorite wrestling games. I'm not a huge wrestling fan, but one of my favorite wrestling games, Fire Pro Wrestling Returns. I don't remember what this is because it's not complete. Alright, Hot Shots Golf 3. I've told you about my thoughts on these. Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Great one to have. Capcom Classics Collection. Amazing collection right there. This one's sealed and stuff, so I guess he never got to playing it. Family Feud. This one's getting tougher to find. Not rare, but uncommon. Def Jam Vendetta. Midway Arcade Treasures 3. This is like the racing version, if I remember correctly. Yep. This one's also not complete. Fantastic Four. Here's one I could care less about, as I'm not into this series at all. God of War. This one I'm excited to play because I love the series. And this is the only one I've never played. This is Dead Rising, Chop Till You Drop. This makes me laugh. This is this the original one? It must be. That's what it looks like. Yeah, I know nothing about this, but this must be the original one because there's no number on it and no year on it. And this is Just Dance. And then, last but not least, this was not from my buddy Matt. This was from Craigslist pickup for 20 bucks. Relatively uncommon to rare game. That is Metal Gear Solid HD Collection on the Xbox 360. So, all in all, a pretty massive week. Probably in the neighborhood of 60, 70 games. I got to go through and catalog everything. Some of this is going to go up for sale. Some of it's going to go as trade bait. I do have a music books and video game, or music books and movies pickup coming up. So thanks for watching, guys. This was a pretty massive week with the All City Rummage Sale. A lot of good stuff for relatively cheap. I'm really glad to add a lot of my Xbox stuff to the collection. A couple of GameCube games that are, I've said it before, GameCube, just by nature of it not selling as much as the other two consoles at the time, are getting tougher to find. So yeah, I've got a massive haul to catalog and a bunch of stuff that's going to go up for sale, but I will be back with a music, movies, and books pickup relatively close, probably tomorrow sometime. I'll do that because I got a bunch of good books too on the cheap. So we will see you. Thanks for watching, and my other video should be coming up later tomorrow or Tuesday. Just a reminder, E3 starts today. I guess it's not Sunday anymore, so it's Monday. E3 starts later today. The Bethesda press conference was amazing. I'm really excited for the new Doom and obviously Fallout 4, which I'm super excited. They made the announcement November 10th, so get ready, mark it on your calendars. This year, from pretty much August on through to the new year is going to be there's going to be something for everyone in video games. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.